I'm gonna chill ya.
Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers.
Hey guys.
I got no picture.
I think he's coming on. Yeah. Well, Mark's here, kind of, sort of. We can't see him.
I heard Mark, but I can't see him.
Right. So, hey, this is Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chris. He's Mike.
There we go.
And that's Mark. In a car.
We got
In a car might not work, Mark. You got to be on a dedicated. You got to be on a dedicated Wi-Fi type thing.
Okay.
We've had.
Are
that
you headed home?
before.
I'm in Alaska, and so my wife and I are out here visiting, and I thought for sure Alaska Standard Time was 1 hour behind you guys, but apparently it's 2 hours. It's really bizarre.
Okay.
Well, it's 2 o'clock here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what time
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock here.
Yeah,
it's 4 o'clock here.
Yeah. So I thought it would be 3 o'clock Alaska time because that's what. Anyway.
It's all good.
Apologies.
It
I'll
happens.
be home at about. I'll be at the hotel in like 5 minutes. So
Actually, he's good. He's good right now. He's at 93%, Chris.
Okay. It's up to you. I just don't want to, if you want to wait till we can talk until he gets to the hotel. Then we're not going to watch him leave the car and go to the hotel room.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just log back on when you get there, Mark.
Yeah, just do that. That'll work.
Yeah, that work. Okay.
All right, we'll see you then, brother.
We'll see you. Drive safe.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys shortly. Thanks, guys.
All right. No
Right on.
problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
To me.
So that's fun. Anyway, so what were we talking about before Mark joined in?
Football. Specifically, John Harbaugh. You wanted to...
John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh was introduced to the New York Giants today. I saw a little spiel on the Instagram that a lot of players showed up.
Congratulations, by the way. I think that's a great hire, my personal opinion.
I now the more that I read about him and the more that I read about
it's a
the
dynasty
Giants,
family of football. It's like the Mannings, man. The Harbaughs, they eat, breathe, sleep football. Could there have been maybe a better choice if we really sat down and thought about it? Maybe, but
if you look at the ones if you look like Saleh, so Robert Saleh, man. Yeah, so Robert Saleh got hired for Tennessee, which is interesting.
I did not know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was dropping last night and then today.
Okay.
Sean McDermott, I knew was going to get fired, and I actually posted something.
I kind of knew he was, but I still find that surprising, dude. I mean, I know he couldn't get over the hump, but
the hump is everything, though. You got to get over the hump.
It is.
I don't care if you get to the first round playoffs every year, 10 straight years, but you don't get past the first round. There's a glitch in the matrix. Look at remember John Gruden and Tony Dungy, right? Dungy left the Buccaneers because he couldn't get him over that hump.
Yep.
Goes to Indianapolis, wins the Super Bowl. Gruden gets that close to the Raiders, can't get over the hump. He goes to Tampa Bay, wins the Super Bowl. Some people just need to go somewhere else and get over the hump. Now, granted, Gruden won a Super Bowl with Dungy's team, and I don't know who was coaching the Colts before Dungy. But he won the Super Bowl with that previous coach's team, right? So who knows?
I'm listening to you. I'm going to look up those contracts.
Oh, I know you. I figured you're looking up research and doing some research. So yeah, so the more I've read about Harbaugh from people that are like, I have a really good friend, Steve Binger. What's up, Steve? Who lives in New York, and he has a Giants page that that's how I met him. Really good guy. Loves smoking cigars. Every time the Giants win, he smokes a cigar. I've tried to get him on the show, but it's such a weird dynamic of time difference and he works and stuff. But so I asked him flat out, like, is this a good thing for New York? I'm like, you're there and you hear all the speculation and rumors and stuff about the deal going south, that kind of jazz. And he's like, no, dude, this is straight up. The whole hang up was the fact that Harbaugh's deal was he wanted to control. He wanted to be the GM. Well, obviously the Giants weren't going to give him the GM position because they liked Joel Schoen for God knows why.
I can't imagine why.
I don't. Me either, man.
Talk about a failure.
Well, and then his kids told him who to draft, and he didn't draft. And those people that his kids told him to draft went on to do epic
to your
things.
point a second ago, and I agree with you. You know, sometimes I have a little too much heart.
Yeah.
It all starts at the top. So
yeah.
What have the Giants done for you as a fan lately?
Nothing.
There you
Nothing. Since Coughlin was fired, which he shouldn't have been fired. I mean, it's you win 2 Super Bowls with a team and you get fired. That was an unclassy move from an organization that has a storied franchise. They should have dealt with that a little bit more graciously. They should have just had him. I don't know. I didn't like Coughlin though when he first started either.
But with that being said,
yeah.
I'm not a huge football historian, as we've all established.
Right.
But can you think of a person who's been a coach and a GM at the same time who's been super successful?
No, not one.
So I'm not sure. I think that's a lot to bite off, man.
I agree. That's too many hats.
And I think if I were him, when they said no, I would have just said what he wants anyway. Then can I be involved in the draft procedure? That's what he wants, right? He wants to be involved in who are we going to put on the team that I'm going to coach.
Well, and what it is Harbaugh doesn't have to answer to Schoen. He answers to the Merediths. That was how they got around that.
Okay.
Okay, good. Because I wouldn't want to answer to Joel Schoen either. Because, I mean, it's on record. It's on film. the stuff, the people he didn't pick, and his kids are telling him in the NFL Hard Knocks, you should draft these guys, these guys. And he doesn't draft any of those, and his drafts are a bust. And he's on record saying that Saquon Barkley's done. He will not rush for 2,000 yards. He'll never be the MVP. And what did Saquon Barkley do the year after he left the Giants?
Both those things.
Both those things. Now, what did Saquon
Not
do
just
this
one of
year?
them, both of them.
Right. And what did he do this year? Nothing. He went back to his Giant style of playing because he clearly stated on the Saquon documentary, I can't run like that anymore. It's not healthy. I can't run angry. And when you don't run angry, you don't have the success that he had that 1 year in Philly. Now, you can argue with me all you want. Look at the stats. He did not run angry this year.
He's not a finesse runner, so.
No, he's not. It's like Cam Scatterbo. Cam Scatterbo is not going to run like Barry Sanders. Right. Cam Scatterbo is going to run downhill like did Putkus.
Those are two different styles of running, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In your face, knock your ass over. New York Giants football. The first time Jeremy Shockey got a ball, he knocked over 3 or 4 guys on the sideline. That's New York Giants football. It's smash mouth football, which is what I love.
Look at those.
So you sent me.
Yeah, look at the 2 Kyle Tucker ones first, because those numbers will blow your fucking mind, man.
Yeah, so with the luxury tax in baseball, the Dodgers will be paying $126 million a season for Tucker, assuming no deferrals. That's more than the 11 teams' entire payrolls. And then the other one is Kyle Tucker will make $164,000 per day from the Dodgers on his new contract.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
There's another almost $200,000.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll round down. $150,000 a day, every day.
Yeah. That's $5 million per month. That's just, and you wonder why baseball tickets pricing's absurd. What is this? The Rams one I got to pull up on my phone.
There was one that I saw.
Oh, okay. The tax thing. Sorry. So Matthew Stafford only makes $19 million after taxes, despite signing a $44 million deal. Federal takes $16.2 million. Jock tax, like the jock that he's got to wear, the jock strap.
Yep.
That's $220,000 a year. FICA, $665,000 a year. Agent fee gets $1.32 million a year. And the California state tax is $5.85 million a year. He's only making $19.7 million a year. See this? World's smallest violin. Sorry, Matthew. So sorry. So sorry. Crazy.
I cried when I read that.
Crazy. I cried too. I'm weeping. It explains how Odell blew through $100 million in 5 years. No, it doesn't. Live within your means, Odell.
You can't build generational wealth on that kind of money.
Yeah, but you look at the Mannings. You can, because, you can. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. The wealth that's been built from the Mannings, not from the dad. The dad didn't play football at the time you made bank.
No,
but his sons did, and they are. And then their nephew is making, what we say, $6.78 million playing college football.
Yep. More than a coach by a landslide.
Right. It's insane, man.
And that
It's
was going to be
absolutely
the
insane.
thing that I saw somewhere, and it might be Kyle Tucker now, is worth more. One of those guys on the Dodgers is worth more than the owner. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's ever happened in sports. That's why it made the headlines.
That's because they need to put a cap in baseball.
And
Football
that
has a
was the
cap.
question on top of that statistic was, should there be a cap in baseball?
There should be. There should be a cap in all sports because nobody, I don't care who you are, you're not worth that kind of money. You're hitting a ball, you're catching a ball, and you're throwing a ball. That's it. Nothing else. Look, Mark's back.
Welcome back,
dudes.
Dude, what's up, man?
Was shaking.
There we go.
I'm so sorry about all this,
You're
man.
good.
It's all good, brother. It's all good.
You're good. Take a breath. Relax.
It's all good.
Right.
We're
ease
not
into it,
that.
man.
We're not those kind of people.
Okay, that's good.
We're relaxed.
That's cool. I'm appreciative.
This is fun, man.
Yeah, we're just conversation, having fun, man. That's why we hit it off in the email because we're not assholes, man.
I'm in Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm in Illinois. You're in Alaska, and he's in Arizona. So we made this work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So what are you doing in Alaska, man?
So we've been out here a few times and really my wife and I love hiking, backpacking, camping, that kind of thing. And we were out here. I'm just making sure y'all are on Wi-Fi here. Wi-Fi, yeah, okay, good. We just love the culture. It's very close to Texas in the way that the people are out here. And my wife's been after me to buy a cabin in the mountains for her somewhere. I thought it was going to be in Colorado. That was my thought. But then when we set foot in Alaska, like after the first night of camping out in the tent, she's like, right here, baby. Find me a spot. So we're back up here in Fairbanks looking. We were in Anchorage a little, bit ago.
Cool.
Yeah, and we wanted to come in the dead of winter
Of
to
course.
see what it was actually like to be in the dead of winter up here. So we're getting used to it. It's pretty cool.
Is there the ability to go house shopping in the dead of winter?
We wanted to know that, and the answer is yes,
Okay.
Chris. We can. We were out. We have this the most amazing tour guide. She's a realtor, but she's really a tour guide, and she's been out with us driving in the snow. We got stranded yesterday. She had to have one of her friends with a big 4-wheel drive truck pull us out of the snow.
Right
and
on.
it's been an experience. I mean, we went. You had to think about this. We're on a 5-acre parcel. And you're going to go up to the house, and the house is sort of set back halfway on the property. And so you have a little driveway, and then, so you make your way up the driveway, and then from the driveway to the house, you got to go snow surfing, dude. You're like, you're plowing through the snow to make a lane for yourself to get to the door.
Right on.
So it's totally not the Texas experience, which is where I'm originally from.
Yeah. So obviously you're gonna vacation in the warmer months as opposed to the blizzardly winters, I would assume.
We don't know that. We've been told by most of the locals that June is the time not to be here because the mosquitoes are insane in June. So come any other time besides June.
Okay. We were there. We did a Norwegian cruise, Alaskan cruise, and it was October. So it was cold, but it wasn't holy shit cold, It was bearable. It was and we did the whole glacier, all that stuff. We were Juneau, Ketchikan, some other spot, I forget now which. But yeah. So not Fairbanks. What's the other one? Anchorage? No, not Anchorage. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you fly into Anchorage. See, maybe the cruises, I think, because we did a cruise, that's how we first got the experience here. Our cruise stopped in Seward, and then you got a chance to do a train ride up to Anchorage, or maybe it was vice versa. Maybe we flew into Anchorage and took a train ride down to Seward, and the port of call for the debarkation was Seward.
We saw that at Seattle. We went from Seattle to Alaska.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun.
You guys stopped somewhere in Canada too, if I remember.
We did.
right.
We stopped in Victoria, Canada. Eh?
Yeah.
Nice people. Nice
Yeah,
people.
Vancouver. We stopped in Vancouver. I
Yeah.
love Vancouver. It's amazingly awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice people. Nice
Yeah.
people. So now that you're here, you're settled, relaxed, chilled out. Give us a little bit about you and why you wanted to come on the Chris and Mike show, so we can kind of start our conversation with you from there.
Yeah. So I am a career pivoter. I was in aerospace engineering. I love applied math and physics. I studied it in school. Computational fluid dynamics. I love doing calculus and differential equations and studying, physical phenomena. It's just part
Things
of
I know nothing about.
Yeah, this is that's in my head. Is like, whew. But that's cool. He's the smartest one in the room today, Mark.
I don't know anything about that, but I would
By
tell
a
you
landslide.
that. But I love, I love that part of life. But I've also been a poet my whole life.
Right
My
on.
grandma taught me to write poetry when I was 5.
Cool.
And so I have these sort of competing facets to my mind, always
Nice.
sort of trying to express themselves.
Can I ask you a question that you may not be able to answer?
Sure, Mike. Shoot, man.
What is it about math? Like, how does your brain work like that? I mean, what makes math so interesting? My brother's like that. Like, some people's brains they're geared towards that side of life, and I just don't get it because I'm bad at even simple math.
Yeah, I think personally that I have a curious mind about a lot of things, but I have a curious mind when it comes to intuitively the way things function. So like I always just sort of get like how an engine works or how thermodynamics works across a surface or how, fluid flows around an object. To me, it makes sense.
Okay.
And so I think in the mathematics side of things, other than I really just enjoy more complex things to sort of sort through and figure out. It's a way for me to explain to myself and to other people why something's happening. Why is the water freezing or why is the air flowing in a certain way?
Sure.
So I don't know. It's like a language. Like my brother, he is a polyglot.
What's a polyglot?
He speaks lots of languages.
Oh, right on.
So
I just learned something today. That's awesome.
Yeah, more than 3 or 4, and he speaks them forwards and backwards. So like the word
really
the English language, he taught his twin to speak backwards English. They call the language straw cab, which is the word backwards.
Wicked.
And so Mark is cram, right? And Chris would be Srish, right?
Oh, see, I call it Sirk.
He can speak like full sentences like that?
Oh, wow. Like fluent, like we're talking right now.
Wow,
that's crazy,
that's
dude.
amazing.
And
I want to talk to this guy.
Insanely, he learns French as his second language, and he taught his friend Steven to speak backwards French.
That is so
cool.
Right? And so he's just got this gift for language. And so when he's as a matter of fact, when he's talking to you, like when he starts speaking French, he gets very French. He's very, very, francophone. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
La, 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 la. And then when he speaks German, he becomes yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Right?
That's amazing.
So he gets language, and I get math and science like that.
It all makes sense now.
Right? So it's just kind of I guess it's 2 different ways that you sort of get the world, right?
Real quick, what did your parents do?
I was just going to ask him that.
Thank you.
They're all mixed up. So my dad has a PhD in pharmacology.
Of course he does.
And he's also an MD, and he has also an undergrad degree in history. And so he's dyslexic of all things.
Really?
Right? And so he it took him like forever to learn anything. Like he reads at 1/10 the speed of a normal person. Right?
Wow.
And my mom.
It's impressive that he did what he did.
Yeah. They met in East Texas going to school, and she didn't finish university. And so she's had, they were together for 16 years and then they divorced. And so she has had a variety of marketing and sales type things. So she's a very outgoing, social butterfly style personality, very salesy.
Yeah.
I would say my grandparents probably had more of an influence on me because my parents were divorced, and I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, kind of, teenage years and after.
Yeah.
So I would say my grandma, when I used to stay with her in the summertime with my 4 brothers, and she taught me the arts. So she taught me when I was 5 to write poetry. She taught me to paint watercolors. My grandpa taught me to do pen and ink.
Nice.
My brain is mixed up. My dad's left-handed, my mom's right-handed, and so I paint watercolors and do creative work and calligraphy with my left hand, and I do engineering work, math, and pen and ink drawing with my right hand.
Wow,
and so
that's
it's
amazing.
Just kind of, it's Chris,
crazy.
it's terrible. It's terrible because look, you think like a normal thing. Like I played football. Right?
Okay.
I played tennis going in school.
Yeah.
And so, my dad and I go out back, or baseball. We go out to throw the baseball, and it's like, what hand am I going to throw it with? I don't know. And so I got to go hard with the left hand, and then with the right hand. And I'm like, which one am I feeling better? Okay, I'm going to do that thing. So every single thing, like I play ping pong left-handed. I play tennis right-handed. I play racquetball left-handed.
Wow.
It's like, so it takes you twice as long to figure out whether you like a thing or how you do the thing with your body.
So you're like extremely ambidextrous?
Ambidextrous.
Yeah. Just right down the middle.
And be confused. Yeah, I'm like,
wow. Now, so do you have kids?
I do.
Okay, so did any of this translate into the kids?
Yes, unfortunately. My daughter's like, what did you do to me, Dad? So my daughter's trying to figure out how to write when she's in grade school, right?
Okay.
And so she's like, and I did the same thing, like right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed. Okay. And so she is trying to, and she's like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, and she still hasn't quite decided yet. And so what she ends up with is she holds the pencil like a left-handed person would hold, which is different than a right-handed grip. Okay. She uses a left-handed grip in her right hand to write with a right-handed slant. Okay. Right? It's like the oddest thing ever to watch her write. It's like, okay, Megan, that's her name is Megan. It's like, okay, that's odd. And she's like me, she has to figure out what she's going to do when she's picking up a thing. So she plays like racket sports with different hands, and
Yeah, my grandson is left-handed, my oldest grandson who's 6, and everybody else is right-handed. We don't know where that came from. And then his little brother is right-handed. And we thought he was, so I coached him in baseball, I coached him in football, and we were always right-hand. And then we realized one day, oh shit, he's left-handed. Like that explained everything.
Poor little man.
Everything.
Yeah, that's really cool. My dad, when he grew up, so he was left-handed, but they had no left-handed gear. And so he had to play with a right-handed mitt. He was good at baseball. He had to play with a right-handed mitt, and he would catch the ball
and throw the
ball.
Then
he would take the mitt off, drop the ball.
I saw kids do that. Yep.
Yeah. There was a baseball player, I think his name was Jim Abbott, where he didn't have a hand.
Yeah.
He lost his hand. He was a birth defect. So he did that. He was a pitcher. So he would throw the ball, and after he released the ball, he'd have the glove on. And then when he'd catch something like super fast, man, he would just get rid of that glove ball. It was crazy. Yeah. So it can, Rick Allen, one-footed drummer, you can do all kinds of shit. He puts your mind to it, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think that's
crazy.
The point.
Yeah. So, we've spent 10 minutes here talking about the ambidextrous of you. What about this? Why are we really here, Mark?
Yeah, I'd say, first of all, I checked out you guys' show. I really enjoy, your the vibe for your show and you guys and your artists. And so I think from my point of view, I have a a music project. And so I've done a career pivot. So I went from being the aerospace dude to doing some life sciences for a little bit. And then I picked up a guitar to play a song to my wife for our anniversary.
Right-handed or left-handed?
Ooh, see, you know me, Chris, like I'm in the shop, right? And the shop had no left-handed guitars.
Very rarely do they.
I was forced to do it with my right hand, which is okay. But actually, I'm okay with the right-handed guitar playing. I wish I could turn my piano inverted because I really want to play the melody with my left hand and the rhythm or bass notes with my right hand when I'm playing the melody. And you can transpose on a keyboard, but you can't flip it.
Nope.
Right? Anyway, so right-handed.
Why not just squirrel moment? Why didn't you just Jimi Hendrix that shit and turn the guitar upside down?
I would have, but it didn't register for me that was a thing to do because I had done nothing musical. Right. No singing, no playing, nothing. And so 2011, I pick up a guitar to play my wife a song for our anniversary. And I'm like, okay. And the guitar shop owner, I said, look, I'm going to buy this acoustic guitar. I'll even buy like the little bit nicer model from you, but you got to agree to teach me to play a song.
Sweet.
And sing for my wife. So he's like, okay, I'm in. He's like, I'm all about that and being, organic. And so, that's a story all to itself, but I'll tell you, sitting in our favorite Italian restaurant, singing a song to her was such an emotional connection for me. I was like, oh my God, where has this been my whole life?
Yep.
Right? It was just such a connection. And so I just became obsessed, my wife would say. I was obsessed learning music. I put a little group together. We played some cover songs. And I just wanted to play one gig. And in doing that, I kept changing the lyrics to the songs that I was singing because I didn't like the way, or I just wouldn't sing a song because I didn't like the vibe for the song. And that kind of removes a lot of material from your repertoire, right? That everybody wants to hear if you're doing that. And so 2018, I decided, okay, I'm going to write my own stuff. And I taught myself and, bought a few courses online to sort of self-study. And so here I am. My first album went out in 2018. In May, unfortunately, because COVID had a tour set up behind that, and COVID sort of shut down all of our tour dates. And then I sort of rolled through COVID. The first month I was sad because I put so much energy and so much of me into writing the album, putting the band and the group together. And then I ended up after 3 or 4 weeks of being sad, I pivoted online. I became singer-songwriter guy online as opposed to a 4-piece, soft rock band. Rewrote my material, did a bunch of Zoom ticketed shows, and raised money for charities. And went through, the process of teaching myself to be a solo performer. And coming out of COVID, I wrote more material and finally got some traction a couple of years ago. I was in a showcase at South by, and a tour company picked me up, and I had my first big tour last year.
Very nice.
And then, so spring and a fall tour last year, and I'm doing the same thing this year, putting new music out and sharing my rock with a positive vibe, with a little nerdy twist in there.
That's awesome.
That's my
There's nothing wrong with that. Weezer's one of my favorite bands, man.
Okay, yeah, they're
and that's what they were. But back in the '90s, they were one of the first nerd rock bands, right? But they were cool,
Yeah.
So
if you heard their music, you would have never known it.
Yeah. For me, I play. I see the world with my own little rose-colored glasses. So I see lots of the positives in the world, and so my music is typically inspirational, has a positive element to it.
Nice.
And I've got my songwriting influences who sort of shape the way I craft a song.
Sure.
And I'm out, talking about usually like the juxtaposition of science and philosophy. I have a song called Boundary Layer. It's about breaking through boundaries in your life philosophically, and it's also about computational fluid dynamics theory and boundary layers of particles entering the slipstream of another particle and approaching the boundary layer there, and slowing down and getting some new energy and going in a new direction. So the physics and the philosophy kind of overlap in a thought.
That's really cool, man.
So, that is really cool.
I'm rambling. Sorry, Chris.
No,
I didn't mean
you're not
to,
rambling.
To be
this is what we
long-winded
do.
there.
That's what we do here,
man.
One of the things that I find fascinating, Mark, is most people, that's why I asked about your background, because it's super important. If people aren't good at putting two and two together, most mathematicians are not artistic, right? So when Chris said you were coming on here as a musician, I find that fascinating when all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm into physics and aerospace and I really like doing calculus for fun. And all of a sudden you don't hear in the next breath most of the time, oh, and I love to play guitar, right?
Right.
So who were your influences as a musician, being a new musician? What led you to, you said I write music as my influences were. Who were they? I'm curious.
Yeah, so I learned to play the guitar playing John Mayer songs.
Cool.
So I love John Mayer. I love his
too.
bluesy influences. He's obviously has a lot of influences himself from a lot of the blues greats. And so I also love the quirky, positive energy and just the groove of Jason Mraz. So a lot of his songs.
Nice.
Yeah, I love some of that. Vance Joy. Vance Joy is another influence of mine. Ed Sheeran. And so, as I'm crafting a song, I'm influenced by the way in which those writers, might structure a song. And then, I've always been moved by really powerful vocalists. And so Pavarotti, I always like listening to his music. Or, some of the more, pop-oriented vocalists like Adele. I like the way she approaches some of her lines.
Absolutely.
So, for me, I think I've got an eclectic, influence. And so I think as I'm sort of thinking through a piece, and maybe as early as I'm writing, my music was probably lyric driven, and I would sort of wrap the instrumentation around the lyric and try to push my melody around with my chords. Because vocal, I wasn't trained as a vocalist to start with,
right?
And so melody would come last, and as I've written more, co-written more, and trained myself more, now the vocal elements are more intuitive, and so now I can sit down with my guitar or a piano and sing a melody and sort of find the vibe of the lyric and sort of put it all together.
In my opinion, that makes a better vocalist when you start out that way, where you're in the driver's seat, right? And you're not real sure what to do yet. That's where you develop you, right? You can always learn how to hit that note. You can't teach somebody attitude, right?
Yeah, I think I'm 100% with you. I think just having the mastery or mastery enough of your instrument, whether it's your voice or your, a piano or a guitar or whatever instrument you're playing, having it so that it's natural for you to express yourself. I can write lyrics all day, but taking a lyric and making something powerful and moving and emotionally connecting with that, that requires such intuition, from all the elements of your musicality, right?
Well, here's a good example. I can teach somebody to become a good beginner to intermediate guitarist, but past that, you're on your own, right? Because I can do things on my instrument that I can't explain to you. I can't tell you the theory behind why it happened. I can only let you hear it and say, it either sounds good or it doesn't. So if you say something sounds amazing, I can't just talk you through how I just did that. I just did it, right? It came through the universe to me, back to the universe.
That I feel you exactly. It's like one man's it's like, okay, so I'll write a lick on my guitar, and then let's say I'm cutting a track and my producer is doing some of the guitar parts, and he cuts the lick that I created. right? As opposed to asking me to cut it for whatever reason,
Right.
right? And I'm listening to him like, that's not my lick. It's his interpretation of my lick, right? Which is like, okay, so two guys sort of fitting in the pocket of the music in a different way, right? Which is totally interesting to me because I was thinking like, you know, if I sent my lick to Mike, Mike would play it the same way I would, and he wouldn't. He would play it his way.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like, okay, that's really cool.
Here's another thing that'll make people's heads turn is when you tell them that you had to go back and learn something that you recorded, right? I'm like, I'm not sure I could play it quite that way again. And they're like, didn't you write it? Yeah, but you don't quite understand, right? That was a moment in time that happened that might never happen again.
Yeah, like you have right now. You have my song up. What does it mean to be human? The cover of it, right?
Yep.
And I've got this really cool, you know, sort of Latin-ish, bossa-ish beat that's cooking in the background, and it's got these licks. You know, even like when I go to when I make the arrangement for that song where it's just me playing. It's just solo me playing. So I get only one guitar and you have to carry the whole song on it.
Right.
Then you have to rearrange the whole song anyway. Because how much of it is percussion important? How much of it is the melody, the back melody or the counter melody, right? How are you doing all the pieces all at once on one instrument? It's this whole other thing.
I just have to interject, dude. You look like somebody that would be fun just to freaking hang out with for a few months.
I've been thinking the same thing.
Come on out and tour with me, brother. Come on, let's go.
You know, it just, I mean, it's just everything that I see on your, and this is, I like doing this when we're talking to somebody, and, you know, Mike loves talking more music and the dynamics of music and like you guys are having. So that gives me the kind of freedom just to kind of go down journeys of the people we're talking to. And there's not a single picture that I'm like, oh, that looks like it was fun.
I said the same thing in my head as you've been scrolling through here. It's like, this is a blast, man.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. It should be illegal.
That's supposed to be life, man.
Yeah. And my wife is so amazing. She's watched me reinvent myself. Right?
Over and over again.
And she's like, hello, I did not marry a musician. You know, but she's been super amazing and super supportive. And I can't be more thankful for, you know, for her being.
Wives don't like musicians, man. Even though you tell them on the very first date, this is what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. They don't hear it.
She didn't have that luxury though, because he was like,
see?
Right.
Mike, it was a bait and switch.
It was. But you did the right thing, Mark. You wrote the first song ever for her. So,
yes. Bingo.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. That's amazing. So you were an aerospace engineer. Obviously you fly planes because I see your plane.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, I missed that part.
No, yeah. So it's because
he's
I'm
a pilot too.
Yeah, he's a pilot. He has because he was in the plane. He was in the plane, and so it looks harder than it looks. So being an aerospace engineer, and this is totally off topic, but what do you think about Artemis 2?
You know, so Chris, aerospace has two segments to it.
Okay.
So there is the orbital mechanics crowd.
Okay.
And then there is the compressible fluids or the atmospheric flight people.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
which one are you?
I'm the atmospheric flight guy.
Okay.
Because I like my hair to be on fire. I used to race motorcycles. I like
That's
to
not
go
surprising.
fast. Right.
That's not surprising.
You know, I'm like, okay, so and I like to feel those G's when I'm flying and whatever.
Okay.
Can you just give us a list of things that you haven't done in your life?
What life resume times you so far are beating everybody that we've ever talked to as far as life resume is concerned. Just in this
volume,
35 minutes of conversation. It's like, check that. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that.
What makes me angry is he can do math at that level, and he's so cool.
Oh.
Right. It's like our own version of Good Will Hunting, and there's no chalkboard because he created the chalkboard.
Oh my
goodness! He already solved all the problems.
you know, there's so much amazing gusto in life everywhere you look.
Agreed.
I think there, you know, you could live 1,000 lifetimes and just not unlock all the doors that are out there.
Your energy is infectious, man.
It is.
Thank you.
I'm feeling it.
You know, if you came to my show,
Mm-hmm.
so like I have this is my signature merch. Okay. It's think like a proton.
Okay.
I'm gonna let that sink in.
Okay. So it's science.
Okay.
Proton is positive, right? Proton is positive.
See,
energy,
look
right?
at that, Chris. Yes, you got it. Bingo. Right. So there's neutrons, which are neutral, and there's electrons, and they're negative. Right. And so my job is to add a few extra protons to your orbit if you come to a show with me, and you leave with some of that positive, infectious energy.
That's awesome.
And I'll feel like I've done my job. And you got to have fun while you're doing that, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. We need to have, when the show's not over yet, but we need to have you back on a Friday, because Fridays we can talk as long as we want, because there's no time stamp. There's no time gap limit. Okay. So in February, we're booking Fridays, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Hey,
so
now.
Let's figure that out.
I'm going to get it.
Let's figure that out. Because really, an hour's not enough for you.
Put it in I'm going to put it in my sundial so I get it right this next time, right?
Well, no, it's all good, man.
My azimuth angle was off by 1 degree.
It's all good, but really, an hour's not enough. I mean, Michael agreed to that, but it's
so
not enough.
Let me tell you how much of a blessing that is.
Yeah.
Sometimes Chris will decide that, we've covered what we needed to cover. I'm trying to say this nicely, and we're moving on, right? This might be the first time, other than people that we know together personally, where I've heard him go, we're running out of time and I got a million questions, and I do too. So your energy, dude, is so infectious, and the amount of things that you've done, I would like to unbox them more.
One by one.
Yes.
Like maybe a month of Fridays.
I'm so down. But you guys are cool to hang out with and talk with. How did y'all meet? What's the story between y'all two?
You can tell the story, Mike. You tell it better than I do.
When I was 19 years old, for whatever reason, I had fulfilled my obligation with my parents. I wanted to be a professional musician. I knew what I wanted to do from the get-go, right? I didn't decide later. So I went and got a degree in graphic arts to appease my mother, and I moved to Arizona in 1993 with a mission to start a band, to see the world, to get paid to do it. That's what I wanted to do for a job. So I did. The first incarnation didn't work out, so fast forward to Chris. I'm at a Candlebox show in Tempe, Arizona at the Electric Ballroom. About 2,000 people it held on the big side, and there's this dude singing behind me the whole show, and unbeknownst to him, he thought I was, pissed off or whatever. Long story short, the power goes out, and he's still belting out the rest of the measure after Kevin Martin had stopped singing. And I didn't remember this part, but apparently I turned around, did a 180, and was like, are you a singer? I play in a band. I handed him a business card. I'm like, we need a singer, like stat. We got gigs booked or whatever. So we met him at a bar and had a couple drinks, went to the practice space. And, Chris showed up with like a suitcase of lyrics, I like to call them, and a PA system. So back in the 90s, if you had a PA system and you had written any amount of lyrics, you were pretty much in the band, right?
Boom. Oh, look at that. He's got it. He's showing me.
That's sweet.
And then I found last week in my barn, I found a tote full of lyrics that were from a file folder alphabetized. I haven't gotten in that yet, but this is just from the Nemesis days and my last band's days. That's not even like touching on it.
So him and I went on to form a band called Nemesis. We ended up with a development deal with Metal Blade Records, played countless shows together, opened up for everybody from the Marshall Tucker Band to Armored Saint to Sacred Reich to LA Guns, Seven Dust, Tony McAlpine. Enough's Enough. The list goes on. I mean, we kind of found a pot of gold in those four guys. It was the best. Chris describes it the best. It was the best time of all of our lives. And we, whether we knew it or not at the time. Yeah,
we didn't realize it. Like we didn't
living large, baby.
Right, like the fact that you open up for Marshall Tucker Band and you're so naive that you don't realize who the Marshall Tucker Band is yet,
or the opportunity that you were just afforded.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you just don't get it. And then you look back up, like we were written up in a magazine that we did a cover with Mike's guitar hero buddy Ray Stone of Roadhouse Blues, and I love Jim Morrison. He's one of my gods. Morrison, Veteran, Bono were my three like vocalists.
The whole crowd while they were playing us. Not to interrupt you, man, but
no, you're good.
He takes me back to these moments in time, and I was a spectator of this because the guitar that's sitting behind me belonged to one of my best friends. His name's Ray Stone. And long story short, it ended up going, he sold it. He never knew where it ended up. And one day he saw me with it and he's like, that's my guitar, dude. And I was like, no, it's mine. I just bought it, And he's like,
I got the ticket right here,
he
man.
said, you don't understand. Is the serial number blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, how do you know that? He said, that's my guitar. So anyway, he wanted to come play it. And I said, come down and jam with us, man. Yep. He's like, all right, what are we going to play? And I said, Chris loves Roadhouse Blues. Mm-hmm. Everybody in that crowd, Mark, all our jaws were hanging on the floor. They did the best version outside the doors, is what that article said, that reporter had ever seen.
I can channel Morrison. At least I could do Morrison like
it was awesome.
Roadhouse Blues was one of the first songs I learned. So the group I played with when I formed my band, everyone had been in music for 10 or 15 years besides me. Yeah. And so they didn't want to play anything normal. They wanted to play some crazy B-side Cars songs and just like complicated, hard stuff. And Roadhouse Blues was one of the ones that was not as complicated.
Right.
And so I actually played that one on the lead guitar. It was my first lead guitar song that I ran the whole song with, which was really cool. The other guy in the group sang as well, and he loved Jim Morrison, and he loved to sing his songs.
Yeah. I used to do vocal warm-ups.
My dad introduced me to the Doors when I was younger, but I didn't appreciate him until I met Chris, because when you meet somebody that's so passionate about a group, then it starts to leak into you, Like, I got to listen to them a little bit more, because this dude seems to really think they're all that,
Yeah, and see what lured me into the Doors, which you'll like this, Mark, was the poetry. Because when I was in high school, my English teacher one year, we had to write a ballad for the class. So I wrote this ballad, and I got an A, and I'm like, what the hell? And then all my friends were like, you can write? I'm like, apparently. So I started writing ballads for my classmates. And then she convinces me to come to the literary magazine called Dimensions for the high school. And then I scribed a poem called Touch of Grey, and it gets published, and everybody's like, all the girls are like, oh, this guy's got soul, Okay. But so for me, the poetry was cool because it opened a part of my brain I didn't know existed. And then that throughout my life has helped me purge a lot of darkness. But when I stumbled across the Doors, it was from a poet aspect. I was in a bookstore, I think Changing Hand bookstore, and I saw Jim Morrison's one of his poetry books, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I bought it, and I'm like, oh, The Lords and the Creatures or something. I don't remember now. But that's what pulled me into the Doors. And that's what pulled me into Pearl Jam. That's what pulled me into U2, because I'm that guy that when I would buy the record, buy the album, buy the cassette tape, I opened it up for the lyrics. It was the lyrics that pulled me in. So if you wrote,
and I didn't give a shit about lyrics until I met that guy.
Right. All he cared about, but he cared about the guitars. He was a guitar player. But that's the dynamic.
My mother was, Mark, this is a true story. My mom was always worried that, we went through the satanic panic of the 80s, right? So not that she was thinking, and she was just like, are these bands any good or blah, blah. I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. And I had such an honest look on my face. She believed me. I'm like, all I care about is the music. I didn't know the lyrics to half of those songs until I met Chris, and he wrote lyrics that spoke to me, like all of a sudden I got it because I was on the inside looking out,
That's amazing. I went to my first formal education as a songwriter 3 years ago in Austin.
Nice.
Andrea Stolpe has she does a songwriting retreat in New York, in Nashville, in Austin, and at LA.
Okay.
And she's a former, Berkeley professor, and she does a lot of work with labels and whatever. She's been a label writer. She's got a great background and a great energy. And her retreats are curated, so you have to submit your portfolio to her, and she curates everyone to figure out what 25 or 30 people she's going to invite to the retreat for that particular retreat.
Cool.
And so I went to my first one not knowing what to expect. And it's 5 days, and you show up the first day, everybody sort of gets to know one another in a round table, and everyone's very accomplished that I'm there with. I'm just feeling good to be there, like, all right, I didn't get cut, put me in, coach. And so then the next day we start. So we do like a morning yoga, have breakfast, then we do a little bit of education about different, didactic aspects of songwriting. And then by 3 o'clock, she splits everyone up into 3-person teams. And she makes the 3 people write a song And then at 6 o'clock, right after the early dinner break, at 6 o'clock, everybody has to perform it as a trio.
Oh, right on.
So each group, right?
That's cool.
And so, your 8 or 9 groups are doing this, and you're there with really good people. So there's a lot of pressure to write a song, finish it, and then perform it. And I'd never done any of that before. And so to me, like, what is, as a poet, maybe I'd done a little bit of free writing, but never to that level, because it was just sort of me, learning from my grandma.
Yeah.
And so, went through, these free writing sessions that we reduced down to, lyric, and made, music out of them. And each of my groups, I thought I was just like in the most amazing moment. We wrote an amazing song. We performed it that night. You swear that you've met your new soulmates that very day. And then the next day she breaks you up into a different group and makes you write with another group. And 5 nights in a row, you're doing that. And you kind of get the vibe for one, she tells you, what are you good at? So she's listening to, she spends time in each of the writing groups, watching the group interact. And then when you perform it, she kind of knows who did what in the performance. And then she gives you a breakdown after the first 2 days, and after the second 2 days, and then the last day. So you get 3 professorial check-ins. And she says, hey, Chris, you've got a great voice, or Mike, you're a great guitar player, or whatever she's telling people. And so for me, she said, look, you've got your superpower is reaching into everyone and pulling the best out of them in the group. So you observe what everyone's great at, and you pull it out of them and make sure that's part of the song that you're writing together. You're great at me, she said. I'm great at lyrics. She said, you're great at arrangement and structure and rhythm, and prosody, and the collaboration and the harmonies, but your melodies suck. So you need to work on your melodies, right? And so for me, she asked, well, how do I fix that? Right? I've never been to school for melody writing. She said, hey, you need to find the very best melody writers that you can, and co-write with them, and listen to what they do for 5 or 10 songs. And then you need to do that in the next set of songs you write. And so a very long-winded way for me to say, like, I co-write with, when I got back from my retreat, I started co-writing with everybody, and I found you put me with an intuitive vocal melodist, and we can write a pretty dang good song in 3 hours.
That's me.
And cut it, right?
If you give me that guy, we could write 10 songs in a day. If we were having a good day, right? If they were just simple rock songs and we were just wanting to bang out some tunes, we could easily write 10 songs, and 2 of them would be songs that we would probably play forever.
Yeah. And for me, that was a new revelation.
That's awesome.
So I went through a period of writing with the very best melody writers that I knew. And then I flipped it, and I forced myself to think about how terrifying this will be, Mike. Put your guitar down. You can't pick it up.
I've done it.
You can't pick it up.
I'm not
and you're
that
going to
guy.
just sit there and you're going to sing, right? You're the singer in the writing group. You're not going to do anything but sing, right?
Terrifying.
And to me, it was great. It was like bonsai base jumping or something. Like, all right, I'm there, man. I'm in. And so after you do it 5 or 10 times, you get over yourself, and you sort of develop some approach to, what key do you write in, or how do you sing a melody, or how do you make a riff, or whatever.
Well, I'm sure even as an extrovert, Chris could put himself in a situation where he's going to be uncomfortable, right? The guy could get in front of 60,000 people right now and sing his ass off. I know it. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's not afraid to go on stage, but I'm sure he can think of a situation like you just described for you and I. If you take my guitar away from me, that's 60 to 80% of my voice, right?
Mine's karaoke machines. If you want me to sing karaoke, I don't have any confidence in karaoke because there's nothing there, right? Like I need the music, I need the band, I need the energy. I don't.
We weren't a cover band either. I mean, we played a few cover songs, but we didn't make it a point to learn other people's music. We were proud that we wrote our own music. That was part of our shtick,
Right.
I love that.
Right. And part of the reason with karaoke is you don't have monitors. You're not hearing I've
That's
never
a good
been a
point.
big
I
fan
never
of
thought
karaoke.
about that.
But I tell you what,
yeah.
one of the things I do, Chris, one of the things I've been doing. So I have a vocal coach, and he's been teaching me.
I had one. Yep. I had one. Yep.
Yep. And I had to put my 10,000 steps in like everybody else. And so I've spent time for a couple years now with a great vocal coach. And now, like, what you would, if you were getting proper vocal training, you would be able to start with the first note of the song. Right. And I know I'm starting on the 5 of the song, you know, or wherever I am. And then you could sing the melody.
That's where drummers come in real handy.
Right. Yeah. And so for me, I've been training a lot to be able to take a note and sing the full melody a cappella, sing the Star Spangled Banner, whatever, as a training exercise for myself.
Star Spangled Banner is a good training song. Star Spangled Banner is a good training song because that's 90 seconds of take you all over the place. If you can pull that off, even in key the entire time, you know you can sing. Because that's one of the things my vocal coach made me do. He made me do that. It's like the first song we learned was that. And you have to, because that is the most dynamic range song that's a standard traditional song to sing. If you can nail that, okay, you can sing.
And as a singer, so many singers never concentrate on the beat, right? One thing that Chris was really good at is understanding where that, not just the one started, but where the accent of that measure started, right? Where's my power come from? Is it got to be right on that one, or can I wait just a second and make him wait it out? And then he would hold it out past the measure, right? So now the key changes instinctively. We didn't know what we were doing, man. It just sounded
and mine was
cool.
all instinct.
Yeah,
mine was just,
I had this timing. So Mike, I was really, that sort of drew me back into my first studio session. So I'm recording my first album, and I really hadn't spent time playing on a click track much. Had some, and so I go in the studio, and I'm with session musicians there who are playing the drums for me for my track and bass, and the keyboard. And so I'm playing, but I told my producer when I hired him, I'm playing every guitar part, and I'm singing all the lead vocals and the harmonies. Why? Because I got to learn it, right? And so I just got to, if I suck,
that's cool.
I've got to do better so that I don't suck. And so I'm sitting down just doing the rhythm guitar part for my very first song, and I'm in the studio, and everything's new. The headphones are new, in the booth is new, everything new, everything's so new, and you're listening to the beat. And so I'm playing, and it took me 20 takes to do the rhythm part for my first song, which is terrible. This is how long it took me.
I've heard a lot worse.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I finally, like on take 15, I was finally kind of getting it, right? It was sinking in. And the producer's like, sit back in the pocket a little bit, please, Mark. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? He's like, well,
wait for the backbeat.
Yeah. You're playing on the beat, right? You need to sit back behind it. I'm like, well, and now my science mind starts, is that is it 2 milliseconds? Is it 5 milliseconds? Right?
It's a feel, brother. It's a feel.
How do I do it? I'm like, okay, finally I just turn all that off.
See, I was gonna say, you got to shut the analytics off, man.
Yeah.
You gotta feel it.
Okay.
Ride the wave, baby. I'm surfing the wave now.
Here's a band that you didn't name them. I don't know if you're a fan of them, but if you want a shining example of an entire career of that, listen to AC/DC.
Okay.
That's their whole gig, is they're always ever so slightly behind the beat. That's what makes you want to keep listening without you even knowing it.
Yeah, that's I do enjoy some AC/DC songs. Probably my favorite male vocalist that I've learned the most from is Chris Cornell. I don't know if you guys are Chris Cornell fans.
One of the best.
Or not.
One of the best vocalists ever.
How could you not be a Cornell fan, dude?
It's just how he chooses to
Cornell, everybody, Cornell.
Yeah, how he chooses. Like he does this acoustic version of "Nothing Compares to You."
I know. I've heard it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So here's a fun little story about Cornell. Before Seattle exploded, you had Mother Love Bone, you had Pearl Jam without Eddie Vedder, and you had Soundgarden. Okay, none of them were known yet. They were just local heroes, that type of thing. Cornell and Andrew Wood, the lead singer from Mother Love Bone, who heroin overdose, God rest his soul, sucks. They were roommates.
Yep.
So they would challenge each other to write songs, kind of like what you're doing with that camp you did for 5 days.
Yeah.
So their entire lifetime as roommates were they one-upping each other.
Every day.
They each had their own little 4-track recording things in their rooms.
I'm jealous.
Dude, can you imagine being a fly on the wall?
That would be awesome.
So, I mean, just the growth that they both just challenging each other every single day. And again, nobody's just garage band guys, but they were roommates. They both had their own trajectory they're going down, and they were just daily, just different song styles.
So real quick,
whatever.
if you're a Chris Cornell fan, go listen to that Mother Love Bone album.
Mother Love Bone.
Mother Love Bone,
or the Nothing Compares to You from Cornell, but Mother Love Bone to me was
you'll
truly
get
the
more
first,
ideas of where that started.
Yeah,
because Andrew Wood did exactly what Cornell did in the beginning. He took notes to a place where you don't expect them to go, but they're just sheer beauty.
And Andrew Wood played every show like it was his last show. Like he didn't care if it was 5 people or 5,000. He treated it like an arena rock show.
You can feel it on the record, and that's rare.
Yeah. Come bite the apple. Mother Love Bone. We have to wrap this up. You have to come back. We're gonna get you back. I'll email you, and we'll set some dates in February on Fridays, because again, Fridays we can talk for as long as we want. This is. It's just, you're amazing, man. This is Mark Winters. I'm gonna go to your share your website real quick while we wrap this up. Remember, boys and girls, we are brought to you by Riverside FM, the only podcasting platform you should be using, because they're absolutely fantastic. And if you're feeling sad, suicidal, depressed, well, go listen to Mark Winters' music, because it's upbeat and it's positive, and that's going to change your mindset. And if it doesn't, then text 988 and somebody's there to talk you off that cliff, because you're a better person waking up tomorrow in our world, because somebody does love you and somebody will miss you. Mark, thank you so much, dude. I really, we could just do this for 6 hours, but unfortunately we can't. But definitely Fridays. We need to have Fridays with you, because then it's just game on. We can just talk forever.
Yeah, then we have time. I'm off all day. And
that's sweet. Mike and Chris, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for having me, man. Maybe I'll see you out on tour. I'm headed out on tour in the spring, so maybe I'll see you guys out there.
Yeah, don't leave yet till when we hang up.
We'll actually talk to you before then, I promise you.
Yeah. So markwinters.com is where you find everything about Mark Winters. He's the life resume. We just barely touched on it. It's like this. It's just, we're gonna have more conversation. Mark, love you guys both. It's a great episode. Absolutely. Stop us, Mark. I'm Mike. Just mind-boggling. You're great, Mark. Thank you for joining us today. Take a moment, listen to your
a moment.